Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Decision Hour. I'm Adam, and with me, as always,
I'm Patty Catter. Wow.
What?
I don't know. I always feel
it's funny. We literally prep for these shows a lot of the times, and then when the record button happens or whatever, it changes. You never know what's going to happen. It's hilarious. Wow, really?
Wow.
So Patty's in a feisty mood. All right.
Well, when I meet a lot of people, especially down here in Florida, I'll meet some elderly people and they can't remember your name. So I'm always like, it's Patty, like Peppermint Patty, and Catter, like, meow, cat. They will never forget me.
Oh my God. Hey, I noticed lately you've been stalking some people riding bikes and stuff like that. What's up with that?
Yeah, I recently figured out that there's a huge Amish community down here in Florida, which is really funny because, I've been to the beach a lot of times and I'll see one or two Amish people walking on the beach, whatever. And I'm from Michigan, where we have a huge Amish community as well.
Right.
So, Michigan, that's expected. Florida, I was really surprised.
I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, I was real surprised because, I was over by Siesta Key, America's sexiest beach in the nation, one of the sexiest beaches in the world. And there are so many Amish people riding their bikes around, walking around. Mind you, in the summertime, it's like 90, 100 degrees. They're in their long dresses, their bonnets, the men are wearing their suits pretty much, or whatever they're called, but they're all long sleeve and holy moly, just surprising. So I put a picture up of a couple Amish people in my private Facebook. I didn't put that out publicly, or not Facebook, it was Instagram. So I am back on Instagram. A lot of people were upset that I took down my public Instagram.
I'm feeling neglected.
So I just I post once in a while.
Love it. I love it. I love seeing your posts and stuff like that. They're always
thank you.
Entertaining.
Yeah, I try. I try to keep it real positive too.
Yes, you are a very positive person. That's no doubt about that. One of the things that we all love about you. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Patty, it's our second show of the new year, and today's topic is tips for 2019. So if you're listening to this, grab a pen and a pad of paper. There's something to write with or write on or whatever. And get ready to take some notes because we're about to drop some knowledge for you today. So, Patty, we're gonna drop it like it's hot. So, what are some tips for 2019 going into this new year? Last week we talked about, our New Year's resolutions. Really, are they worth it? And in my opinion, not so much. You should be doing stuff every day, right? So, what are some tips that we can do, that people can do to have a better 2019?
Mm-hmm. Well, we were just talking about being positive. I think that's huge. Even some days, I don't feel like being positive, but I am very careful about telling people that I don't feel very positive, because the more you complain, the worse you're going to feel, basically.
I compare it to like the law of attraction, right?
Yeah.
Like if you I literally, if people don't believe me, I do this every day, and I've been doing this for the last couple of years. I wake up every morning before my feet hit the ground. I force myself to smile. I literally put a smile on my face. I force myself to smile just so I can kind of get that good vibe going before I stub my toe on the dresser or whatever. But I force myself to smile before getting out. And I try to say something positive like, it's going to be a good day. Or something like that. Something as little like that. And you should start doing that. You start training your mind to do that, and it helps. So I think
it's true.
Being positive.
I really have to share this. I just had a vivid picture in my head of the Joker waking up in the morning smiling. I just had to get that out.
Oh my God. You're too much. If you gotta go with a smile. Nice. So be positive, folks.
Yes.
Be positive. Yes. Next, what else can we do? Some other tips. in positive mindset, I think that's actually one that we did last year. We did a show on being positive and stuff like that. So if you go to thedecisionhour.com, you can scroll through, and it was part of our wow, I'm drawing a blank now.
Keeping it simple.
Thank
it wasn't
you.
our keeping it simple, was it?
No, I don't think. Well, it was near the I know it was near the Keeping the Simple series. It was it was just before the Keeping It Simple series, which we're going to get into here in a little bit. But have a positive mindset, and that means kind of shutting out some people in your life that are negative, and that's a hard thing to do because some of those people might be close friends, close family, or whatever. But you got to worry about yourself. So have a positive mindset and try to spread more positivity in the world, right?
Yes, absolutely. And be patient, people.
Yeah.
Even if they're jerks to you. Because you never know what somebody else is going through. And even online people, there is the delete and block button for a reason.
Yeah.
If people are not understanding your post the way that you think, that they that it was intended.
It's so easy to misconstrue, like when you read something, because you don't know. Like Patty puts something up and I read it and like all of a sudden I start getting mad at it, or I start being negative about it, and that was like not her intent at all. Like I don't know what her mindset was. I don't know what the tone that she meant that to be. It's all interpretation. And that's why I personally, I don't like emails and I don't like text messaging people, especially when it comes to like business stuff or when you're trying to talk something out, because people could read that, and if they're in a bad mood, they're reading it in their tone and their negative mindset, so they might miss the entire picture completely.
Right. And it's not worth an argument. It's not worth lashing out to make that person feel even worse than what they may already feel inside.
Right.
So I mean, even just coming in contact, what if you're in the store and someone's rude and they cut in front of you, instead of saying something like, well, excuse me, what's the point? Yeah. I mean, just
that's definitely something I need to work on. If somebody's like goes down the road, not that I have road rage by any means. I'm just like, oh, that person must be important. And I kind of like loud, or if I'm like, if I'm in the store and I see something, going on, or somebody's rude to me or something like that, I'm kind of a smart ass, and I'll say like, hey, Jesus loves you. Have a good day, or something like that, and I'll walk away.
Adam.
It's just like, I take the high road, right? Literally, I'll take the high road. So
do you say it out loud?
I have. I have. And it's usually like, I'll never forget one lady. She's just like, can you move? Yeah, you're taking up the, I was in the, like, I'm in the checkout line, and she's like, God, can you move? And I forget what it was. I was like, that's all right, Jesus loves you. And she was just like, oh. And I said, like, look at, like she was stunned. She was like, oh, I screwed up. Like, oh, like, it was just like, and I just kind of smiled, and I was like, no worries, everything's good. And she didn't say anything. She just kind of like put her head down and nodded. And there's another time where I said it to a guy as he was walking past. I guess I took his parking spot because apparently his name was on it or something, and I didn't see it. And he said, hey, you're a prick for blah, blah, blah. That's all right. Jesus loves you. And I started walking away. He was like, yeah, whatever. And I was just like, oh. I haven't offered anybody a free hug or anything like that yet, but.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. So,
I remember,
but be patient is what you got to be patient. And if you have kids, you should definitely, if my son's getting ready to turn 16. Teenage
you never
years.
Know.
You just,
you never know about teenagers, what they're thinking. Their hormones are all crazy. They may, and think about it, being in high school again, forget that,
Yeah. Be patient with people, and like Patty said, you don't really know what they're going through that day or what's going on in their life. So, be patient. One of the other things is with patience is like, don't sweat the small stuff, either. That's a big thing. Moving into 2019, it's a new year, right? You get to whatever your goal is and whatever it is that you're working on, today is each and every day that you wake up is a gift, right? So if something happens, is it really going to matter tomorrow? Like, oh, well, I didn't, there's some things that aren't just meant to be. Maybe you didn't get to close the deal that you wanted to close for business or whatnot. You know what? Tomorrow's a new day. You know what? Somebody didn't call you back and after they said they were going to. That's small. That's not going to matter tomorrow. It's not going to matter 5 years from now. It doesn't matter, And when I say don't sweat the small stuff, you really, what I consider small might be different than what Patty thinks or what you, the listener, thinks. Pick whatever it is, but don't sweat it, because is it really, you got to ask yourself, is this really going to make that much of a difference on my life tomorrow, next week, next month, next year? And if the answer is no, then there's no reason to worry about it, and there's no reason to sweat it, right?
Right. Yep.
And if you want to learn more about that, because when we go into more detail about that, go to thedecisionhour.com and you can click on Don't Sweat the Small Stuff and listen to that entire episode.
It's good. That's good.
What else?
Well, Adam, you have the list in front of you, and I'm sitting in my car right now.
Yes, you are. Okay, so let's talk about prioritizing life.
Yes.
I look at this as like, how do you prioritize life? Some people prioritize, like, if you're married and you have kids, maybe your family and your kids are first, and then business is second, and then your immediate family, or your secondary family, like your relatives and stuff like that, might fall after that, or whatever the case may be. How do you prioritize? Or maybe you're single. Like, I prioritize by getting up in the morning, going to the gym, going to work, coming home, walking the dog, eating healthy, whatever. How do you prioritize your life? Take a really good look at it and write it down. I encourage everybody to write out your priorities. What are your priorities? And then take a good look at them and say, I really don't need this, or I need to do this a little bit better, so I'm going to add this to here. Or as you get older, you might see a shift in your priorities.
Heck yes. And I work with a lot of military caregivers, and I know one of the biggest things that I've heard is I don't have time to go to the gym. And I'm always saying, write a list down of all the things that you want to do. And then on the other side of the sheet of paper, write what you've been doing with your time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because, they're sweating the small stuff, right?
Yep. Yep.
and they're not prioritizing. So huge.
And I love, I'll just say this. Actually, I'm not going to say this. If you want to learn more how to figure out prioritizing your life, that's another show that we did last year. Go check that out at thedecisionhour.com. Meal prepping. Tips for 2019. We live in a world that is so fast-paced now, right? Big cities. Lived in Phoenix, for the longest time. I go to Arizona, as you know, several times a quarter. So several times a year, I'm back in Arizona. We even where you're at, it's fairly big. We've gone to Miami. When we're down in DC, we're constantly on the go. And what people don't realize is, like, listen, you don't have to eat out in the fast food stuff like that. Stuff like meal prep. You can actually, I got back into this because I got a smoker for Christmas. That's another show for itself. It's so awesome. Anyway, I will, on Sundays are usually like my downtime, because I was watching football and stuff like that. I would cook a lot. I would cook more than I could actually eat in one day. So I would cook. And everybody, yeah, I know. I eat a lot. I'm waiting for you to say it. So it's like,
he does.
So what I do is I will cook a ton of food on Sunday and then stack them in I got little meal prep containers. And now that was one of my goals for this year, was to meal prep. And I've done that already. And it's working out great. I end up having more time to do stuff throughout the week. I'm less stressed because I already know I don't have to worry about what I'm going to make for dinner or anything, or for lunch, because it's already in the refrigerator. And it's healthier food. I'm eating, a little cleaner. I'm a big carnivore. Like, I got to eat meat, but I've incorporated some more vegetables. this year. And I even started juicing a little bit, not steroids, like actual juice with like, vitamins. Well, I got to be clear on that because some people are like, dude, I have these little mason jars and I did like a green juice detox thing. And I made several of those and I have one of those a day now too. So I'm feeling more energy. I feel like my body is more cleansed from the toxins and stuff like that. And I'm overall, and I've only been doing it for about a week, I feel a lot better.
Meal prepping is awesome. I know my oldest daughter, she just started working full time, and she sent me a text last night and she was asking about meal prepping and using a crock pot and the Instapot and all these other things.
Yeah,
so,
love it.
And we have a show about meal prepping.
Yep.
On thedecisionhour.com.
Yep. Go check that out. Check that out because we give some tips on what you can do for meal prepping in that show. So go check that out. Goals. Always good to have goals, right?
Yes.
Always good to have goals. I'm going to keep this one short. I'm going to let you kind of lead this one a little bit, but I will say this about goals. Have them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and keep them tangible. And make small goals and big goals, and make small goals leading up to your big goal, right?
Yep, exactly.
So I have a huge goal this year.
Yeah.
Huge. Yes. Going to be fundraising or finding a sponsor. Somehow we're going to help a veteran here in Florida obtain a deep sea fishing boat. I'm really excited about it because we've already sent him and some guys out fishing. It's super cool.
I love it.
Yeah, that's my big goal. But definitely, you have to set little goals to reach your big goal sometimes, whether it's weight loss or eating healthy, or for me, helping do a fundraiser. You have to set small goals to reach the big one.
I love it. So make sure you check out the goals episode on thedecisionhour.com. Health and wellness. I'm going to just touch base on this real quick. If you have, when you're setting your goals and stuff like that, your health should be one of your number one priorities, right?
It should be number one.
Because if you're not healthy, and especially if you're a parent or a caregiver, if you're not taking care of yourself, how can you expect to take care of your family or the person that you're taking care of?
Exactly. Yeah, and you're going to be so much feeling happy when you're healthy.
Yeah.
Not just
and part of that ties in with the mindset and everything like that as well. So health and wellness is huge. Make time for yourself. You got to make time for yourself, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But the health that health and wellness, what does that mean? Eating healthy, making time for yourself, and it's not just maybe going to the gym. If you don't have the money to go to the gym, go for a walk. Do some push-ups, do some crunchies, get the go to the sports store and get like the bands, and do like some type of resistance rate. Use body weight, your own body weight, and do like squats and stuff. There's people think I can't do all the workouts. There's plenty you can do without having to go to a gym. Okay?
Yeah, look at the prisoners.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Look at the Jesus. Finance is the next one. Like, how many people understand financial literacy? If you're having trouble budgeting or living past your means, and I suffered this all through my late 20s and all through my 30s, is I wasn't taking my finances stuff seriously. I always wanted more money, but I never knew, I was just spending. You can't be more conscious of your finances and have a plan. Save. If you're, have money set aside. They always say you should have like 6 months of money set aside in case of emergency and stuff like that. So, and I'm not going to go too deep in finances because there's so many different topics and subcategories that we can talk about that, and we will have some financial people on later this year. But look at your finances and really have a plan with what you want to do. Whether it's I'm going to save $50 this month and take out $50. Maybe you only start with $50 because that's all you can afford, and then or maybe you start with $100. Take out that and start saving money. Save money and save it, invest it, whatever. But make that money to work for you. Or here's another thing: have a goal to have better finances by learning about what financial literacy means and how it can help you moving forward. So that's all I have to say about finances.
Yes. And invest.
Yes.
We'll talk more about that too.
Finally, because we're wrapping up here on time. We're really close to time here. And this is a great one to end on. Unplug and recharge.
Yes. 100% yes.
You know, and this was Patty and I did an episode on this on the Decision Hour. If you go to decisionhour.com, you can listen to the episode, and we give you tips on how to unplug and recharge. But you know, unplugging, what we mean by that is, you know, we live in a very technological, advanced society right now, right, and world. You know, where we're on the computer, we're constantly on our phones. We got to see what's up on, you know, well, I started on Facebook. I got to check this. I got to check that. No, you don't. Unplug from all of that. Take time for yourself. Do something for you. Patty, what's one thing, real quick, what's one thing that you like to do for yourself to kind of unplug?
Just one thing? Okay, so
just pick one. Just pick one.
During the holidays, I did a Facebook fast for a couple of days. And I'll tell you what, it is addicting, but that's a whole nother show, right?
Yeah.
But it was really nice to do that. I was afraid that I would miss really important messages from veterans, but the veterans who needed my help already had my personal contact information, so that didn't happen. And all I had for one day was like all these stupid forwards, you know, forward this so that the angels will be around you or something. So during my Facebook fast, instead of being on Facebook, I went out and I took walks around nature trails, and that was really nice. I love to walk in the evening when nobody's out, and it's nice and cool here in Florida because it's really hot during the day a lot of times. But I like to walk. That's one thing I really like to do.
Yeah, I miss doing that. It's as I look outside the window right now and the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour and the sun's out, and I went to like, I'm going to take the dog for a while. I took 2 steps outside. I turned around. I was like, nope, it's too windy. I love walking. And which makes me miss Arizona this time of year because it's a great time of year down there. So I'm excited to be going down there in a couple of weeks. But anyway, make time for yourself. Unplug from everything. Recharge your battery. And make time for yourself. Patty, what else do you got as we're wrapping up?
I mean, just make sure that you take care of yourself. You know, that goes, I mean, that's the number one thing is take care of yourself. And doing that, analyze your life and try to figure out what's important to you, what ways you can make things simpler, what ways that you can do good and move forward. And just this 2019, keep positive, keep moving forward. That's the biggest tip that I have. Absolutely.
Thank you very much for that. Folks, some of these tips that we talked about today are in our Keeping It Simple series that Patty and I did kind of mid last year in 2018. Go to thedecisionhour.com, check out that series, Keeping It Simple. There's volumes 1 through 7 to check it out, some tips. And if you're listening to this, go to Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, now's your chance. Go to facebook.com/The Decision Hour, and we want to hear from you. What are some of your tips moving into and going through 2019? That's all the time that we have today. For Patty, I'm Adam. Thank you very much. You've been listening to The Decision Hour.